Hi, this is Jim Townsend at InfoStrat, and I'm here to welcome you to our webinar on implementing Parature. We're going to take a look at one of Microsoft's most exciting products, Parature from Microsoft. Parature delivers the best customer experiences that you can provide to your customers. It enables new channels of interaction and helps all organizations, businesses, federal government, state and local government, education, to do a better job of serving their customers and constituents. I'm going to give you an overview of what is in Parature, and then I'm going to take a look at what some government agencies are doing right now with Parature. Then in the second half, provide a demonstration of how Parature looks as a user who is working as a customer service rep and what the steps are to implement it. Customer service is vastly different today than it was 20 years ago. There are entire new ways of interacting with customers that just weren't available prior to the advent of social networking, the growth of mobile, and new channels for interacting on your website, like live chat. Parature is Microsoft's product that bridges this gap, and it takes you from traditional phone support and email support to web self-service. One of the benefits that you're going to achieve through greater self-service is to reduce the number of phone calls, reduce the cost of support, and also improve customer satisfaction by helping people find answers more quickly. This kind of customer service applies not only externally to customers and constituents, but it also applies internally. You can use Parature to enable employees to find answers to their internal customer service questions, as well as external customer service questions. Microsoft has a special offering for that called Enterprise Self-Service, and we did a webinar on that recently, which you can download from our website. What we're seeing now in the services marketplace is a trend toward much greater reliance on self-service, mobile, and social integration. The younger generations of consumers are accustomed to being able to find out answers on their own, going to a website, launching a debugger, firing up a mobile app, or using Facebook or Twitter to start a conversation with a company. This habit carries over into all of their activities in their lives. So there's an expectation today that you're going to meet people where they live, whether it's in mobile or it's in social media or the web. I'm going to spend just a few minutes of showing you what the elements are that make up Dynamics Parature, and then we'll see it in action. The center of the Parature universe is the customer service agent or customer service representative that we call a CSR. Parature provides a platform for all of the activities of this customer service representative, starting with knowledge management. Knowledge management allows you to capture all of the business processes and the business rules and the answers to the questions that your CSRs are going to be faced with. Allow them to search and provide a consistent answer to anyone who contacts them. The next layer is the self-service portal, which a customer can access and then find out answers through search, through browsing, through some user interface approaches that we're going to show you. That self-service portal taps into the knowledge management layer, which stores knowledge base articles that contain the answers. Parature also embraces all the other channels to get at customer service. So that means live chat, going to a website, instigating a chat session with a customer service rep. Email, firing off an email that turns into a ticket to be worked by a customer service rep. Social, kicking off a conversation that turns into an issue which is tracked by your CSRs. mobile, and even doing surveys of your customers and creating a feedback loop so that you can improve the quality of your knowledge base and your customer service. So Parature, in short, has an internal and an external component to reach out to customers, to empower that help desk, and also for managers to do detailed reporting on trends in customer service. Parature is deployed in the cloud. That means that you simply turn on an instance of Parature when you subscribe to Parature, and you enable each of your customer service reps to access it. Government is embracing this trend in customer service, and many government agencies are already using Parature to provide better levels of care for constituents and citizens. This is being promoted because agencies want to make themselves more visible and more accessible. They want to make it easier for people to find the answers without understanding the organizational chart and knowing which part of the organization to contact. Department of Commerce and the Small Business Administration created a website called Business USA with just that in mind, making a simple, no wrong door approach to get in and get the answers that you want. I encourage you to go and look at some of these sites. So I'm going to just leave my PowerPoint and move over to looking at some real live sites in action. So this Business USA, as you can see, it provides multiple ways to interact with it and to get support and to do queries, to search for help. In behind the scenes, you notice that we've got here under help, we've got live chat. So we can fire off a chat session right now with the chat representative. So here, if I go in, I can then fire up a chat by entering my information. I feel a little bit unfair about doing that when we don't have an actual query, but when this chat session is created, it would go right to that service desk, to the customer service rep who can handle it. Let me show you a couple more of these real-life sites. This is Social Security Administration. Social Security Administration is one of the federal agencies that interacts with the largest number of citizens. What they've done with Parature is to surface their knowledge base and to compile information to answer questions without that person picking up the phone. So what we're seeing is inside the Social Security website a list of top help topics. So let's say I'm interested in retirement, and now we've got some questions. How far in advance can I apply? And it turns out the answer is 3 months. So these FAQs allow you to search. So I can search on a keyword like retirement. I can also take a look at different ways of displaying the knowledge base, like the most popular FAQs right here. The items that appear on this list are really just a different way of viewing knowledge base articles sorted by how popular they are. Once users get to that knowledge base article, then they can print it out, they can email it, but there's also a feedback mechanism here. So I can come down to give us some feedback. Did this answer my question? Yes, it did. And so now that helps the Social Security administrators for the FAQ to refine their knowledge base if they are coming up with knowledge base articles that are getting poor results. Another example is NASA SOUP, a major government contract vehicle. SOUP also offers live chat, like the one that we saw with Business USA, and the ability to go ahead and submit a service ticket. So here, if I've submitted tickets before, I can log in and I'll see my open tickets. It also gives me structure around what to report in my tickets. Like Social Security, SOUP has a frequently asked questions section. So I can navigate through them by browsing. I can vote on these articles to tell how valuable they are. Parature is very simple to stand up. I mentioned before that it's cloud-based, and what that means is that Microsoft is hosting Parature, and all we need to do as a customer for Parature is to sign up for a subscription for our customer service reps, and then have them log in and configure Parature based on how they want to set up the knowledge base, the portal, and the routing for the trouble tickets. Let's take a look at how Parature operates behind the scenes. And I will just remind you, if you do have questions, feel free to go to the question pane and type in the questions. I'll keep my eyes peeled for new questions as they may appear. So I'm now in Parature. Microsoft provides you with a non-production environment, which I'm looking at right now. It's called a sandbox. So my non-production environment lets me go and do some development and testing before I unleash it on my public website. Your Parature portal can be configured so that the IP address looks just like all your other IP addresses for your website. That's why it looks so seamless when it's part of Business USA or Social Security Administration. I'm now logged in as a customer service rep, and I want to just show you a few highlights of what functions we get here in the desktop. First, up at the very top, I've got a list of tickets that are outstanding for me and conversations. I also have the ability to change my status. So if I'm available, then I can tell the system I'm available now for live chat, and my live chat will pop up and show on my website that I am available. Otherwise, it will show the hours for chat support. I'm looking at tickets, and tickets are where these incidents end up. So I'm going to just drill into a ticket, and we'll see what kind of data elements we track. So here's a ticket that was entered by someone named Lindsay Oliver, and we've got it hasn't been resolved just yet. I've got an action menu that I can use to move it forward and assign it. And another interesting thing that we've got here is we're integrating it with a product called Jira. Many companies and government agencies have multiple help desk systems. And the reason is that HR will have a system, IT will have a system, different departments and branches will have a system. And for a large organization, it's not realistic to go and replace all of them at once. Sometimes they're very specialized for a particular type of work that's done. What Parature allows you to do is to create that one door, that one way to get in to your organization and ask the questions, but you can integrate with other help desk systems. So in this case, I've got Jira tickets, and I've got integration configured so that we'll automatically we'll create a Jira ticket for certain types of issues that are reported. Over here on the left, we've got the ways that we can organize our tickets into folders by category. And what's important about that? Well, we can set up queues so that customer service reps who specialize in particular types of issues see the tickets that they can work on. We can also automate the business process so that tickets are routed to the right person based on values entered by the customer or based on where the ticket comes from. These tickets can come from email. So we can have emails that come in and automatically get converted into tickets. We also can set up Parature to send emails to these customers that we're helping. The knowledge base, that's where that website pulls the data from for the FAQs. We can set up knowledge base articles, organize them into folders, and these knowledge base articles support full text, rich text, HTML formatting. I can have images, I can embed streaming videos. So you can really build out a rich knowledge base that will give people a complete and comprehensive answer. You can have your article refer to more than one folder. So if it crosses over the topics, multiple topics, you can categorize it that way. You can also hide it from search. You can have internal and external knowledge bases that you manage separately. You can also have a business process workflow to have these articles approved to be published to the public. So in a Parature implementation, one of the most important things that you'll have to do is to establish a hierarchy for what those help topics are, to make it easy to organize them, easy to search them, and easy to browse them. I mentioned before that we can come up here and change our status for chat. So this is the chat window where I can grab a chat and take care of it. Just as you've experienced chats with companies that you purchase from, Parature will capture that chat. It will send the chat to the person that you're chatting with. And then we have reporting capability built into Parature, so we can view what kind of questions that we're getting. We can export these things and forward them to folks. We can see during a certain period of time how many tickets were processed, and you can create your own custom reports using parameters that are provided at runtime. You can do the same thing for the knowledge base. So you can find out which tickets are the most, which knowledge base articles are the most important, the most popular, the ones that are rated the best. This means that you can adapt your customer service strategy to continuously improve over time. When you set up Parature, you configure all of your customer service representatives and give them roles so that you can differentiate between those customer service reps who might be assigned for live chat or ones that might have a certain specialty. For instance, if SharePoint is my specialty, I could only participate by handling SharePoint tickets. And you can see that these ribbons denote what that role of that user is. And again, these are cloud subscriptions based on the user who is a customer service representative. For serving the public, those are the only subscriptions, the only licenses that you need to purchase from Microsoft. Microsoft does have special licensing available for internal use of Parature. And then here we can configure our social integration and tie it in to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. So that would allow us to accept a conversation that's initiated on one of these social channels. So that's what Parature in a nutshell does. I'm going to go and take a look at the question pane here, and I've got a question. How does Parature work / integrate with CRM? And I'm going to give an answer, and I'll also see if anybody else wants to chip in on this. So Parature does not require dynamic CRM. You can use Parature, as I've shown you today, without any dynamic CRM licenses or any dynamic CRM instance. Parature takes what would be the service module in CRM and extends it. It provides a much wider spectrum of services than you can get in dynamic CRM. And Parature knowledge base is what Microsoft is leveraging to provide greater knowledge base capability to CRM in the future.
Hey, Jim, can I add on to that?
Yes, this is Kevin Adler from Microsoft. Please.
Hey, Jim. Good. That's a great question about Parature's complement or integration with other CRMs. It's, I always like to, I work in the federal district here in DC, and I like to look at what customers need to then understand how best to address their problem. Sometimes Parature can fit the bill out of the box. Everything Jim's showing you so far is fantastic with its lightweight deployment, quick time to turn around with its integrated knowledge base and its integrated contacts and accounts and ticketing. But sometimes it's not sufficient based upon the business rules, and that's really where partners like Information Strategies or Microsoft, folks like myself, can really recommend the complement of having the service functionality of Parature along with the CRM, robust CRM tools of Microsoft Dynamics really solve customers' needs. So it really all starts with the customer and what they need and what best will suit their requirements.
Well, thank you so much for jumping in on that question.
You bet.
So what I'm going to turn to next is the topic of deployment, and I've hinted at this in a couple of ways. So, of course, InfoStrat, we're a services company. We'd be thrilled to have you contact us or another Microsoft partner to help you with the deployment process. One of the best ways to begin a Parature implementation is to do a pilot or a proof of concept. And in a pilot program, you would pick a group of CSRs and a business function who would be the pioneers and who would explore how Parature maps to their business requirements before you do an enterprise-wide rollout. We found this to be quite beneficial. Microsoft has developed worksheets and templates to gather requirements. So you do need to think about what your requirements are and take advantage of the opportunity of this implementation to change your business process. A lot of organizations that we deal with are doing customer service the way that they've been doing it for 20 or more years. They're principally relying on the telephone. They're also relying on emails that come in and then get routed among the customer service reps. It makes it really challenging to do reporting and also to make sure that those tickets that come in by email don't fall through the cracks by being forwarded to someone and then they're no longer tracked. You're not going to shut down the phone line. There are cases where phone support is still going to be the best way. We're not trying to say that these new channels are the exclusive channels, but it's a great opportunity for you to rethink what is the best way to interact with your customers. For instance, many organizations can't maintain 24/7 phone support. So if you have users that are scattered across the country or scattered across the world, then they may be challenged to hit you within the service window. With Parature, you can provide ways to support them even when you don't have anyone on staff. You can set up your portal in Parature so that you can head off support questions before they make it to a phone call, let's say. Now, I was showing you how it looked on the back end, but what about how does it look on the website? So this is my sandbox. This is the portal for InfoStrat. And you can see that what I've done is I've got that tree view similar to the one that I was showing you for my help topics. And I can use that tree view to navigate to those topics. This was the article that we were just looking at that was inside our knowledge base. I can also have users go and do searches. So this search up here, also coming here to browse or search the knowledge base. And as you flesh it out, you can change the way that you lay out this web page. You can also provide different ways of requesting support, from creating a trouble ticket to generating an email or kicking off the live chat. So this was that live chat that I had set up just a moment ago. So now I'm kicking off a chat, which essentially is with myself. And you can see that I'm going to ask that user some questions. And some of those might even take them to an answer. So that question has been asked, and then I can grab it here and work this. I also set up my trouble tickets here so that I can go ahead and submit a ticket by filling out an online form. And here we can ask whatever questions we want to do a little triage and provide the CSR with the information that they'll need to answer the question. So back to the implementation process. Microsoft provides this knowledge base for Parature that contains workplates and templates to capture the way that you've organized your knowledge base, the way that you've organized your CSRs, and also to prioritize those channels. I recommend that you not try to roll out every channel on day one. I think that by rolling out one channel at a time, starting with the ones that you're already supporting, it gives you a chance to learn and embrace Parature, and it also gives your customers and users a chance to adopt the newest channels that you're supporting. And throughout this whole implementation process, to be able to refine your business processes by using feedback, I think that it's really valuable to set up a feedback loop so that you capture what is working and what's not working as you're going through your implementation. So I'm going to go ahead and I hit my timing here nearly perfectly at the bottom of the hour. I want to open up the phones and open up the chat to any questions about Parature implementations.
Hi Jim, how are you?
Good.
This is Karaoke from Nairobi, Kenya. Question: am I able to replace a help desk with this solution and kill the help desk completely?
So Kariuki, I want to first thank you for joining us all the way from Kenya. I really appreciate you coming. So the idea of Parature is that it is a tool for a help desk, and you can also replace a help desk to the extent that providing knowledge base and providing troubleshooters and providing self-service capability on your website reduces the number of phone calls that you would receive. You can reduce that help desk, or you could eliminate the help desk if the help desk means a phone operator. Does that make sense?
Yes, what is happening for us, we deploy solutions from Microsoft, and most of our clients, once we deploy for them complex systems, their help desk becomes massive. So they have to keep, and I think this is a good solution for them to eliminate the people, because they have to keep hiring more and more people to service the manual help desk that we know. I think this can sort out most of our issues.
Absolutely, and we've seen statistics from studies that show the better enhanced productivity for help desk workers. In other words, being able to support more users with fewer help desk personnel because of the better productivity and also reducing the number of inquiries that come in the first place. But
I think
yeah.
Yes, it answers, Jim. It's quite helpful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, any other questions from our audience? I'm going to answer my own question. How long does it take to deploy Parature? And I think that that answer depends on many factors, such as the complexity of your organization, the number of customer service reps, the complexity of your knowledge base. My experience has been that in less than a month, you can do some preliminary analysis, understand what your priorities are, you can schedule activating these channels, you can populate your initial knowledge base, and you can accept your first tickets in less than 30 days. And I'm just basing that on my experience. I think that if you were to take something like a week to try to document some of your current processes, and then another week to build out some initial knowledge base articles. And of course, that knowledge base is always going to grow over time. And then determine what your priorities are for activating these channels. Kevin, do you have anything more to add on that question about how long is a Parature implementation?
No, I don't. I mean, again, it depends on the complexity, but Jim, you and I have seen customers here in Washington, D.C. that have launched Parature like 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks or shorter. So that's pretty quick in terms of standing up a solution.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I really do embrace about a cloud solution like this is that you're not ordering gear and you're not standing up servers in a rack and worrying about installing something you've never installed before. You really are just signing up and logging in. So the things that take time are really knowledge management and organizational decisions that you make about how to structure your system, and also how do you want the business rules to work? How do you want escalation to work? Do you have an SLA that guarantees a certain performance guarantee for your customers? So what do you want to do if that guarantee is not met? And again, what I recommend is if you contact your Microsoft rep or your Microsoft reseller, they can get you hooked up with a demo. And of course, I'd be thrilled to have you contact me for that very reason.